Let's make way for Scott Van Pelt, SportsCenter host at the Garden. Van Peasy, when you're at halftime, what's the building like?
Well, the building was on fire because the Wu-Tang Clan was on the floor, Dan. And as you know, the Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to,
Yeah.
So it was actually, I felt terrible because, here comes the Wu-Tang. This is New York royalty. And I mean, they're down by a million. And they did the best they could to get the building kind of back. But I mean, I see Timothy Chalamet at halftime. We're fast friends now, me and Tim. And he's like, I don't know, Scott. I said, there's a saying, it's a cliche in sport, but next play. And the thing about NBA games, this, you've covered them for many years, that 48 minutes is a long time, man. That's a long time. And so I'm talking to my guy, Stanford Steve, and I say, you think they get this to single digits at any point? And he said, I think they will. And I said, I do not. And as we know, they did, but it was at halftime. There were not many optimists in the building.
Yeah, and I kept waiting to see, was there going to be a moment, or can I pinpoint a moment? And I just mentioned with 9.5 to go, they go on a 32-11 run. I just kept wondering what Mitch Johnson was thinking, because unless he wasn't thinking in the moment of this is real, he might think, oh, we're going to win this. The question is, how much are we going to win this by? How accountable do you make him? I know we can talk about De'Aaron Fox, but let's start with the head coach.
I thought there were a number of moments where a timeout just would have made sense. I mean, what are you saving him for, right? I mean, just call a timeout, tell everybody to take a deep breath and calm down and stop hoisting threes. They were incredibly hot first half. As a shooter yourself, when you start missing, put it on the paint, get to the line. Figure out a way to get an easy bucket. And they seemed intent to keep chucking threes. And I'm thinking the same thing you're thinking, Dan. At some point, call a timeout and just, if nothing else, let everybody gather their thoughts and recognize we cannot let this get away. And, by the time they started calling timeouts, it felt too late because it wasn't 9 anymore, Dan. It was 5. Now it's 4. Now you're like, holy crap, they could win this game. And I mean, the fact that the Knicks already did it once, this playoff run against Cleveland, erased a 22-point lead in the fourth. There's this buy-in, there's a belief that's founded in actually having done it. It's not like everyone says, OG Anunoby tells me afterwards, we keep believing. And I don't eye roll them, but at the same time, I'm like, brother, you're down 29 points. Like I get, we're going to stay in the fight. But I mean, they seem to really genuinely believe. And as I say, they've shown why.
And I think when the series started, we thought, okay, this is a young team.
Yep.
Well, okay, De'Aaron Fox, he's supposed to be the veteran. He's the leader. That in a big moment, maybe not Stephon Castle with the ball or Wemby, you got De'Aaron Fox. Well, that didn't go as scripted because I couldn't understand how you don't do the math. You don't need a basket. You need to take time off the clock. He just had a 2-minute stretch that is going to be unforgivable in NBA lore.
I agree. And this is a player I've liked for a long time. I was thrilled that he got to San Antonio and got out of sort of being stuck where he was playing games that were inconsequential, and you have the ball in the lead. The clock's your biggest ally. You don't need another point at that point. I thought, and I was standing right down there at that baseline, I thought he was going to do that thing where you hesitate and then you use the burst of speed to go baseline to the far corner and just keep bleeding clock. But as he takes it to the rim, OG Anunoby does an incredible job to not foul him and get the block. And then it's two things that were basketball 101. That, and then you have to get a body on Anunoby. And when Wembanyama comes floating out to challenge the 3 from Brunson, I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen him in person, Dan, but I mean, his length, you can't process it in your brain. So I understand challenging the shot from Wembanyama, but if he exits the paint, someone has to get a body on Anunoby. Not one person did. And so it's 2 Hoop 101 tenets that were abandoned there, and it cost the Spurs dearly.
Yeah, I was just saying this about 10 minutes ago. It drives me crazy that nobody boxes out anymore. Like
No.
in high school, you had to. College, a little bit. In the pros, forget about it. And De'Aaron Fox can't lose sight of Anunoby. I know he comes out, but I mean, there were just some fundamental plays
Yep.
that should never. Those mistakes never should have been made. Nobody wanted to leave the Garden when it was over, so everybody's just kind of milling about. You had to stay for post game for Sports
Yep.
Center, but what was that atmosphere like when everybody's walking around kind of bewildered?
That's the thing, Dan. Like we've both been fortunate, and we've talked about this a lot through the years. Like that, we've done it for a while, and so the day after, you try to resist the urge to say, "I've never seen anything like it. Never seen anything like it." All right, there's no historical context for this, but I mean, so as I'm walking out on the floor, there's Charlemagne. He's like, "We did it," and I'm like, "Yep." And there's Taylor Swift, and then Jimmy Fallon and Tracy Morgan are just spinning in circles, hugging each other, and it's New York hip hop royalty. And there's Nas, and here's all the New York Knicks legends and alums on the floor. And this is New York City, Dan. Like this is not a place that's easily impressed or easily moved. And they're singing Journey, they're singing Don't Stop Believing. I'm taping an interview with Spike, and they're playing New York, New York. John Turturro walks in, kisses him on the cheek as we're doing the interview. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, this is the city, man. Like, this place is unhinged with joy in a way that, like, as a non-New Yorker, I don't remember seeing them moved in that way. And I give the Garden credit. Like, game's over. Let's get moving. Let's get out of here. Let's go home. No one was in a hurry to push them to the exits. I'm sitting on the floor with a small set, and Spike gets up screaming the last refrain of New York, New York. OG Anunoby sits down, and you know this because you've done it, and it's your job. But I got to tell you, man, in the midst of it, you're pinching yourself, going, "Man, I've been lucky, and I've seen some stuff, but I've never seen this."
I know you're busy. Safe travels to San Antonio. Great to see
Oh,
you.
no, Dan. We're going to DC, baby. Stanley Cup tonight. Post-game Stanley Cup. The show goes on.
Oh,
show goes on.
Good.
We'll see you from
So
DC
it's
tonight.
a constant road trip for you, huh?
You know what? Zero complaints. Championship season. The Stanley Cup's been awesome. The NBA Finals been awesome. We'll see you when the game's done. All right.
Thank you, buddy. That's,
always, brother. Be good.
Scott Van Pelt going to DC and then going to San Antonio after that.